Today we're going to see if we can take down this expert Muddy Puddles map with a strategy I don't use very often, and that is the T-Rex, whose true power it probably isn't really reflected in the play rate proportionally, because nobody uses beast handlers, even if they're good, essentially. Anyway, I did skip the first couple rounds because the Muddy Puddle start is kind of annoying. But just know that if you've seen any other Muddy Puddles run, it's a boat into a sniper, into, I think a boomerang works here this round. I just gotta get good. Or if not, actually, I think it's sub. Sub and then boomerang, my bad. Once again, I would be a hell of a lot more inclined to play expert maps if the early game wasn't so, like, I don't know, unfun. I don't know, some of you might find figuring out early games like this fun, but for me, not really. Anyway, that's round 10. I would die round 12 without adding more, so dare I try a beast handler now? After this round, I can probably buy a Microraptor, so that works for round 13. Switches back on first, and nice. There's Microraptor, and we get the party started. Well, hold up, that's not counting the fact that I don't have money for another tower if I do buy a Microraptor. And this looks incredibly sketchy in terms of defending. If I can afford a Darmok in the middle of the round, that would be good, though. And ain't no way, I'm actually holding the line here. If it continues, like the boat continues shooting glass like this, then I guess I don't have to buy more. That would be ideal. And I don't, wow. I'm impressed. If the yellow's passed, we can use Beast Micro to move this beast down. Switch back in first. And there's round 14. The only issue is that I don't have intel for the very, very right lane, but we'll deal with that, you know, next round. Actually, hold up. I'm trying round 15 here. And I'm actually able to beat it without buying anything more. That's amazing. It's too bad I can't buy Atasaurus, though, because I need defense for round 16 here. Okay, testing a 0-1-0 sub for this round. That costs 485. And the Pierce there does the job. Hey, I guess round 17 is easy, so this does work. Nice. We can get Atasaurus in the middle of this round, and that should be able to defend greens now. Now, Atasaurus in this bad spot does not beat round 19, so I did have to add an extra Piranha. And I'm just going to see if that little bit makes a difference. Still leaks to a red. Maybe getting a weak Atasaurus wasn't the right idea. I might have to go back if this doesn't work, but try the other crosspath, Jurafalcon, just to knock the strong stuff back. But it still leaks, well, stuff like a yellow, and I barely afforded Art Monkey in time. This is my last chance here, otherwise I'm actually going to revert back a couple rounds, because this is like attempt number 5,000 of not being able to beat round 19. Because somehow Atasaurus is not strong enough. Yeah, I can't do it. So we gotta spend the 884 here on something else. Actually, let's revert all the way to round 16, where instead of Barb Darts, Twin Guns just for the intel play. I really wish I could have gotten away with it, like, as in, not have to get airburst stuff for the early game, but it does end up being the easiest. There probably is a way to get through the early game with a beast handler, I just couldn't figure it out, and it also was just not working. Plan A wasn't working. See, look how easy round 19 was first try. What a waste of time to try an early game beast. I'm also in a really bad spot where I can't even buy airburst to get through round 21. Because of buying Beast, so now I'm adding a goddamn mortar to defend these rounds here. F it. Forget everything you saw in the early game about Beast. I am gonna ditch Beast entirely and just do the classic, well, Airburst Rush. Just too goddamn unforgiving of an early game. Sigh. See? Now, look how easy it is to afford this on 22, and then breeze on through the rest. And now that that's over with, I think the fun can finally begin. Before I even do Beast Handler, I think I'll just go ahead and drop my hero of choice. So Striker is really good with Beast Handlers, because if you didn't know, at least Middle Path Beast, because the T-Rex and above does extra damage to stun targets. So go figure that the hero that has a 10-second, 15-second stun ability like that is pretty good at, I guess, inadvertently increasing its damage against everything except bads, but we can deal with bads some other way. For now, I'm just going to do the classic strategy of don't buy anything else for now until I die to a round, and then we can drop our beast handlers. Or rush a village, but now with 2k, I think it's time to just get some D. We can afford an Addy straight up, and it's probably just time for that anyway. And precisely the reason why Beast is so good on Muddy Puddles is, well, once you merge things, you can connect the ranges of said towers. So now we have an Addosaurus that covers all 4 lanes. I'll probably add a 3rd Beast a bit more to the left, so we get even more coverage aside from that very tiny sliver on the left lane. Ladies and gents, we've got Intel sub at home. I can even get a V-Raptor right now if I wanted to, but that's probably not the right play. Let's just get 5 here. And ideally, this just chills until round 40. The only annoying thing I can say about it is that I do have to shift it every single round, but that's nothing compared to the actual difficulty of a round if you can't beat it. Like, say, me struggling to round 21 in the early game with B-Sander, or round 19. 7.2k, that's insane. Now we can definitely do some villages before buying our next upgrade. Just one, really. A V-Raptor, and upgrade this one because it's cheap, will get us degree 17. Or rather, power 17. Let's see if that does it. I'll use a stun now, or maybe I should use it for the insides. And also, ooh, nice clutch. Completely forgot that there's a small 2-second cooldown every time you replace a beast, so if you do replace a beast, you should probably move it a big amount, unlike what I did there. But thankfully, we clutched it. The game menu or the tower menu kind of blocked what you were seeing. One more V-Raptor up here, and there's 24 at 24 now. And you know what? I'm lazy, so why don't we just only have to move the beast out every 3 rounds? If we just put it in between, that's enough range for it to pretty much smack everything, I think. And just like that, we've turned Muddy Puddles into an expert map, into basically a very light advanced. Because if we just think of each lane as a single lane that is fairly long, then yeah, you can see where I'm coming from here. I do still have to use Striker Stun, because the V-Raptor damage isn't very strong against Moabs. By not very strong, I mean it's still strong, it's just I need more time to break it down. So yeah, since we have the sub, I guess we should probably lean the beast a bit further behind for cleanup. Again, I know I can afford T-Rex right now, but the rule of thumb usually is make sure you have a really, really, really high degree on your best handler first before upgrading. Otherwise, a low power beast is really not that good. Like a low power beast of a higher tier. Alright, 57 is hard, so let's just stop here. Buy this now. Let's get one more best handler under a double discount to save money. And now we got 41, and I'm very close to getting $800 for another one. Surely the jump from 24 V-Raptor to 41 T-Rex is good enough. Oh my god, no. No. Maybe I'll leave it on first, just to catch stuff leaking. But as you see, the attack speed, I don't think it's much faster than V-Raptor at all. So that's the issue, really. It's because, like, the sub and all that turn a couple ceramics into a bunch of pinks. And so that's why it looks like we're falling behind. Jeez, how about 49 out of 64? Still looks kind of bad. Guys, I promise this tower isn't as bad as I'm making it out to be. I mean, I'm not, like, paid to make every tower look good. I can always be completely honest with you when I feel like a tower stinks, or whether a tower is worthy of its power. It's just I know it's capable of so much more, but I'm not making it look like that right now. I think I have to use, yeah, with all these Regrow Zebras, I gotta use this. And I gotta use another Striker Stun here. Why does this thing struggle to regrow Zebra so much? I think its bite radius is just so tiny. I'm perplexed. Now, it's not the end of the world. If I die, I can upgrade this merged one to get more power. 56 now, but again, it's just not ideal, because if I want to get Giga Nada, I guess I didn't say whether I was gonna get tier 5. So before anybody flames me saying, hey, upgrading tier 4 T-Rexes are inefficient, don't you know that? Yes, I do know that, but I was doing that on the assumption that maybe in the far future, I would be able to, you know, upgrade to Giga for cheaper, but The more I look at this, you know what? Let's revert. Revert back to when I got T-Rex, and just buy the cheapest efficient T-Rex possible to get 64. So that involves not upgrading this one tier 4, but just getting a bunch of V-Raptors, extra V-Raptors around for power. And take a look at how much easier this is. Spending all the money at 57, and I'm already at 64. Whereas, as you saw, I spent money on T-Rexes, and even 4 rounds later, I wasn't even there. I think what this really shows is that, my god, the difference between 50 and 64 is just massive. So here's 61 again. Look, 64 with extra attack speed is keeping it with the Zebras very easily, in fact. Okay, I say that as we die, but I think we just need to use a couple abilities, and we can fend it off like that, and easy. That's more like it. So to show you the power of this T-Rex, I am going to probably see how much money I can save up at this point on. I think one more thing I'm going to get is Overclock. Very efficient with T-Rex. I don't want to do the math right now about how much this tower costs, but I think it's like about $30,000. And for just 16k, you can 67% buff the power of it. Other things that are pretty much a no-brainer for this strategy. Relentless Glue for even more stuns. This time you don't even have to use an ability to activate that plus damage. Because of it not covering all lanes though, I will add probably a second one. Oh, it doesn't fit over here under Village. Uh-oh. Okay, I guess F DDTs then. Not F as in fortified, but the F word. So we're just going to get one here under, and we'll deal with if there's any DTs on this lane. We'll deal with that after when needed. The real fun begins here. Almost 100 damage per chomp, which goes now above 100 damage when, you know, the ZMG is stunned. So we're going to have to just use a lot of those abilities if we don't want to buy too much more in this. I don't really have much to say from this point on, so I guess just watch as I move the T-Rex, you know, to the right lane every single round, and nom them Bloons. And now to update you on round 92. 56k. God, if I did get 3, or if I did merge T-Rexes earlier, I would be pretty damn close to Giganata. Let me just check real quick. It costs 64.8 in chimps. So assuming we were inefficient in upgrading the power, I think I would have spent 15 more K on the towers. Or actually, I think a lot more than that, but as it stands, the cost for a Giganata would be 3 T-Rexes plus 64. So 94k. Kind of a tall task to save for that much money. For the time being, I'm just showing you again how much you can save with just a single extinct dinosaur. 94 done now. I expect 95 might be spooky, but we do have Relentless, so we'll get a lot of stuns off. Just gotta get one DT stun, and then we can get the line moving. Or nope. They're far too fast to keep up. Actually, hold up, one more try. I forgot, remember, this one doesn't have DT popping or seeking. So, if I just decamo, yeah. I put my foam to target that lane, and just having the second Relentless really adds a crap ton. I'm actually surprised that made such a big difference, because I thought just one Relentless hitting would have enough coverage, but I guess not. And soon to be 80k after this round here. I'll use a normal T-Rex stun here. Not sure this guy has enough bites to take down FZMG strength with that much intel, but we shall see. Come on. Don't leak there. Ooh, really close. I think I can do it. Okay, save stun for F Moabs. Took a while for me to come up with that word there. Ah, striker stun, just missed. Okay, last try here. Otherwise, I am going to add more. I will add more. Back here? Yeah. It's simple. I'm just gonna first strike one of them, because we were able to beat one of them just fine. Enough said. Let's just get to round 98, and let the real test begin. Stun now. Big T-Rex doing Several thousand per chomp. At a high rate of speed. Well, after that Striker Stun wears out, we'll use I think the T-Rex Stun is a little bit longer, it feels like. Regardless, the cooldown's really long on it, so that kind of stinks. Almost feels like we're getting Pierce Capped, but... Trust in the T-Rex. We shouldn't be getting Pierce Capped, because... You know, Striker's giving us 25% more Pierce, but... Wow, I leaked to a Black Balloon. Okay, I'm pretty much dead if I move T-Rex, so let's just keep it in this spot. Maybe switch the Relentless back to first. Just so we can glue F Moabs first. How are we? Again, I don't know if we're getting Pierce Cap, but it sure seems like it. Yep, moving it down here is the death sentence. Okay, I think this is probably my best run by a long shot so far. I'll save the T-Rex stun because it does damage as well. For if I see Cerams leaking, that seems like the best time to use it. Until then, just keep using Strikers, and hey, I don't even need T-Rex. Nice. I knew it was doable without adding more, that's why it seemed like I was, like, stubborn to add more. Even though I have, like, $77,000 sitting around, yes. Yes. Let's use T-Rex stun now. For all? I think I can get out of this one. You just gotta believe me. Stun now. T-Rex now. Come on. Target strong. Back on first. Move here. Oh my god. The worst part is knowing it can work. It's so close to working, but it just doesn't. Yeah, okay, I'll add more for peace of mind here. Okay, I know this is not very efficient, but I'm just kind of done. Cripple Moab is down to 65, and I probably need to get a little bit more mob damage for 100. I don't think a first strike does it. Whatever the case, we have a fourth stun has hit the money puddles. I'm telling ya, it's the difference maker. It's done now. Okay, I don't have to move it. Thank God, thank God. Okay. Before I go and buy another first strike to put me down to a pesky or a measly 55k, let's see how close this ends up being. It still does 100 damage per chomp, but if considering that's our only Moab damage, yeah. 100 per chomp ends up doing about 20% to the point where I don't even think a second first strike is enough damage, genuinely. Maybe I just put too high of expectations on myself, but I don't know. I think as an overall, I shouldn't be too disappointed at $50,000 on Muddy Puddles of all maps. It's close, two first strikes is close to working, but I think I just gotta add, we'll add one more. I think just getting extra assassin, even though that puts us below 50k, is going to be the difference maker, because now we can actually use Striker's reset for 1500. Like, check this out, boom. Actually, no, let's use it now, sure. Sure, give it extra range too, so it attacks. But yeah, you know what, screw it. 46k ain't bad, especially for somebody who is not, like, a 24/7 Chimps player. I think I'll be a little bit less hard on myself because of that. 1.6 million from this guy. So I definitely wouldn't recommend this stun strategy if you're looking for an AFK Chimps run, but if you're just looking for something fun, quote, or different to do, then here's one extra thing you can do.